Hello, welcome back to session 8 of Excel Bitesize. Today we're looking at two quite interesting, certainly quite advanced topics of the order in which calculations occur, something known as BODMAS. We're also taking a look at absolute and relative cell references. So let's jump straight into our workbook as usual, slightly different one this week. However, very simple little calculation of a school barbecue, income and expenditure, how much profit we're going to make. So we have the hire of the barbecue, which is a flat £100. We've got a DJ, which is a flat £150. And the other costs are dependent on numbers. On the right here we have some definite and maybe numbers. So when it comes to calculating the food cost, we've added the definites and maybes and multiplied them by £7, which we think is a food cost. Same thing for drinks, we've multiplied the numbers by 5. And here on cutlery hire, we've added them together and multiplied by £3.50. Down under our income, we've simply added the numbers together, multiplied them by a per head figure and a very simple subtraction at the bottom. So a nice simple calculation. And of course, we're used to believing calculators and spreadsheets, so may look at this and think, great, we've got our figures. However, a cursory glance at this tells us these figures are absolute rubbish. £162 for income clearly is not these two figures added together multiplied by 10. And actually when we start looking at the food and the drink costs, they're also complete rubbish. And the reason for this is when we've created our calculation, you can see it here in the formula bar, Excel chooses the order in which it performs the different steps or the different operators in this calculation. The order in which it does these things is universal with spreadsheets, and it's called BODMAS. Called BODMAS at the bottom here because this is the order it will do things. So it will always calculate anything in brackets first. Secondly, it will calculate any orders, so something to the power of 3, 4 or square. Then it does division and multiplication, and finally it does the addition and subtraction elements to your calculation. So when we look at our income figure, it always does the multiplication first. So in this example, the first thing it will do is D5, which is 14 people, and it will multiply it by 10. So 14 by 10, 140. And then it will simply add the figure that's in D4 onto what it's already calculated. So then it just adds the 22 and it comes to 162. Same thing goes in our other calculations above. It performs the multiplication element of your calculation before additions or subtractions. And so the same thing has gone, that the D5 times 5 happens first, and then the total of that is simply added to a D4. So it's really important to be aware of that and to take action. The action that is pretty obvious is to use brackets. So the first thing that always happens is anything in brackets is calculated first. I must admit I'm someone who probably overuses brackets, but at least with the use of brackets you know for absolute certain what your calculation is going to do. So let's return to our income figure. And what we would need to do is go up to the formula bar in order to edit this, and simply by putting brackets around D4 plus D5, it tells Excel your first step is to add the definites to the maybes. Once you've done that and have a total, only then multiply it by £10. And now of course we get the correct figure of 360.